want to welcome you guys to the Daily Read, and I am your host, Marcus Gentry. Let me get some better light in here. We're going to have a good show today, people. We got Fresh and Fit, going through baby mama drama. That shit get better. Alright. We got Fresh and Fit going through baby mama drama. And we got a town in Alabama that hasn't had an election in 60 years. 60 years. These are the two stories that caught my eye while scanning the internet, and I want to give my reaction to it, especially with the political climate we have in America right now. How can a town go 60 years without an election? This is some this is some stuff where you say only in Mississippi or Alabama. Let's jump right into it. This guy right here, good lawyer. I'm going to put a pause on that real quick because what he said was kind of true, but then again, it doesn't just happen on the millionaire scale. It doesn't just happen on that scale. It also happens when you hood rich. You might not be a millionaire, but you might have more money than the people surrounding you or around you. So when you get in a situation like that, These women know they'll never be able to advance to connect with a multimillionaire, so they get the next best thing. And then you got the case of some people just accidents. All of that stuff don't be just accidents, people. Let's continue on. This is a good lawyer. He's trying to get this man advice because he's probably seen hundreds of entertain. It's probably hundreds of kids out here mixing and mingling amongst us who are kids to multimillionaires, doctors, lawyers, movie stars, entertainers that you would never even know about. You might go to high school with them. You might go to, you might work next to them at a factory. And this guy right here, he's the lawyer for these people, where they don't talk about it. The money's paid up front for the child, and everything just disappears. Wild out here. And I want to give a shout out to Anthony Spade. He has a good program. You guys go check him out. Good lawyer. good lawyer. Let me explain what he mean by that. They got websites out here now that you can literally uh, use AI to have a conversation with someone. And I explore AI a little bit, Chat GPT, and it's truly amazing. But you can tell if you are so slow that you can't tell there's something wrong with this audio, you might need to get your ears checked. Let's jump back into it. Listen to this. Listen to this recorder. That's crazy. Let me pause that right there. What are you gonna do to me? I don't know how they get their finances fresh and fit, but these are wealthy men, and they always talking about 304s and the state of relationships and dating in America. Obviously, this woman is a 304. Now he been dealing with this woman for a while. It seems like somebody done set him up through her with this whole baby thing. They trying to set him up. Listen carefully. See, what he just said, she's using extreme language. When you've talked to somebody on the phone for years, and then all of a sudden they get talking crazy, or you know how a person speaks, what he's saying basically is, this was unusual speak for her. This is crazy. He been knowing this woman for 7 years. And this is a true definition of a whore. Not just laying on your back having sex. When you have other people that can influence you to attack someone else, especially if you've been around this person for years. You know this person. You done broke bread with this person. You know how this person moves, how this person reacts. Let me pause that again. One more thing needs to be said about that. The whole baiting you thing. When you try to bait somebody, sometimes the people that throw out the bait break laws. And if you take the bait and get arrested or get in violation of something, all the laws they broke, it seemed like people look over that. This is what he's saying. The whole baiting you thing. This is crazy. Remember what I said earlier. He been knowing this woman for 7 years. He knows she doesn't talk like this. Either somebody was in the room with her listening or on the phone listening. They was trying to bait him. Like I said, I don't know what these guys are into. For all I know, they could be a part of a mob or anything. But whatever it was, they was trying to bait him through her. Watch yourself, fellas. I'm gonna pause it before we move on to the next segment. Like I said, go to Anthony Spade's channel. He has a pretty good channel, and he talks about some real stuff. But this whole baiting you thing, this is a new thing in America with all this AI and internet going on and stuff like that. And you really find out that people that's been around you for years really didn't like you. I wouldn't be surprised that Fresh finds out later on in life that Fit is the one who set all this up. This guy right here. Think about that. He knows all the girls he's messing with. This is some deep stuff. For all we know, he could be wanting to go solo. So if he can get Fresh hemmed up on something, he can go solo. This is crazy. This is what's going on in this country. I'm not saying that Fit had anything to do with this, but I see patterns. Fresh has somebody around him that set that up. He been screwing this woman for 7 years. 7. He knows how she talks. He knows how she moves. He knows her body. He's seen her naked and everything. Now all of a sudden a baby done popped up and she's asking questions on the phone like, you know, what are you gonna do to me? What kind of question is that? Let's move on to the next subject. There's a town in Alabama. There's a town in Alabama that hasn't had an election in 60 years. And this is another program I watch a lot. Pretty good show. Jesse Dollamore. And this guy right here, man, he's funny. He's funny as hell. I think he was a lawyer. But the guy right here, he's got a good show. Let's listen to what he got to say. I'm gonna stop that right there. I don't believe in reparations, but not because of what he's saying. I don't believe in reparations, not because we were not slaves and we're not owed nothing. But the reason I don't believe in reparations is because there's too many black Americans who are not the great grandsons and great granddaughters of slaves in this country. And you start giving out reparations, you're gonna start having people like 21 Savage, who was actually born in Britain. He's an Englishman. He speaks like us, talks like us, raps like us. He lives in Atlanta, but he's not originally the son of an American slave. You're gonna have guys like him going down here trying to get reparations. Then you're gonna have Chinese people, Mexican people. That money for reparations is gonna come from somewhere. It's gonna come from tax money. Okay, so if I pay taxes, Chinese man pay taxes. He wasn't here during slavery times. Korean guy pays taxes. That reparations money is coming out of somebody's pocket. When they supposed to have paid reparations, they should have did it when they freed the slaves. When Abraham Lincoln signed that paper about Declaration, Proclamation, and all that, they should have gave reparations then. Because now you got so many Africans here that talk like us, walk like us, dress like us, but when you go home and meet their parents are from Africa. Their parents are from India. Their parents are from other countries that wasn't involved in the whole slave thing. So what that's going to do is when you start handing out this reparations and you start weeding through people that are black and giving out reparations to certain people, then you got the problem with white people. White people are having kids by black people. So you got a white mother who has two black kids. Maybe she was married to a white man and had a child by a white man. And then she married a black guy and had two kids by a black guy. What you're causing is a whole bunch of divide in family structure. When you start giving out reparations, you're gonna have a divide in the community to where, like, I'm gonna go back to 21 Savage. He might get a female mad who's actually supposed to get reparations, and she's gonna go down there and report him and say, "Hey, uh, I don't like how he did me. He got a baby on the way, and he's down there getting a reparation check. He's not supposed to get that check." So now you got problems because now you're gonna have law enforcement going knocking on his door, asking him, "Why are you getting this reparations? You're not supposed to have that." It's some deep stuff. But I understand what he's saying. He's trying to get reparations for black Americans. I get it. But is America ready for the fallback from that? Let's keep going. How is that even possible? Listen to what he says. 60 years they haven't had an election in that town. 60 years. How is that even possible? Let me pause that right there. This is what I mean when I say, how is this possible? How in the hell is it possible for a town to get away for 60 years without having an election for the mayor and the city council? That is crazy. And then part of that is the reason why you got states like Alabama that still treat its citizens like second class citizens. There's no telling how many towns in America that this is going on. And I'm gonna play devil's advocate. I'm gonna say something about the blacks that live around there. Okay, how did you let it go on so long without filing paperwork? Now, if it comes out that for 30, 40 years you've been filing federal paperwork trying to figure out how is this man keep passing down the mayorship to his son and his grandson, that's on the federal level. That's their fault because they dropped the ball on that. But if y'all been sitting back for 60 years and letting this go on without having, and 80% of that town is black. So you mean to tell me 80% of that town is black, and for 60 years y'all have never had a black mayor, never ran for mayor, city council, or none of that? This is crazy. Let's get back into it. I'm gonna stop that right there. This goes back to the robber barons. Robber barons were people who were so wealthy in their community that they could literally, their son or daughter could literally drive down the road doing 80 miles an hour in a 30 and hit your child. And the police, when they come to the scene, won't even arrest that person. They'll send that person home, call his father. His father might run a factory that employs 80% of the people in that town, like a cotton gin or a farm or something. And he has so much money flowing through that town that they're scared to arrest this man whose son has just killed your child. This goes back to that, the robber barons. This is a throwback. And for 60 years, something like this has happened. It's crazy. That's crazy. I didn't know about this. This is extra. This man actually won an election. He won the election. And the people that was already in power elected themselves. There's no telling what's in that bank account. They probably running all kinds of scams. Crazy. I'm gonna end this show today. Like I said, go to Anthony Spade's YouTube channel, check him out. He got some good content, and go to Jesse Dollamore. Dollamore has some good content also. But it's crazy how 60 years they haven't had an election. The good old boys have been running that show for 60 years. And the bad thing about it is the minorities in that community, you know, they just let it go on until that one guy stood up and ran for mayor. And I wonder how many threats and bad things have been coming around him and his family. There's no telling. Well, this is the Daily Read, and I'm out.